Hi everyone, welcome back to Trees and Turtles. My name's Imogen. In today's video I'm talking about 5 ways that my anxiety affects me every day. I've made a similar video for depression, so if you suffer from that as well, go check that out. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to do that, give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, and let's get started. So, I have anxiety. I am in therapy, I am on medication, I have been to hospital for my anxiety, so I have severe chronic anxiety. And in this video I wanted to talk a little bit about the ways that it affects me in my daily life, because I think sometimes when we're dealing with a mental health condition, people obviously they see how it affects us kind of, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people don't necessarily see, and they might only see when we're in crisis mode. But it actually puts a significant load on your ability to do everyday tasks and just generally live your life. So I kind of wanted to raise awareness about this a little bit, because I think it's often the hidden cost of anxiety, or the hidden cost of mental health conditions, that isn't necessarily talked about so much, and it's, yeah, a hidden burden almost for people who have them. All right, number 1, elevated heart rate. So this is what my medication helps me with, but this used to be incredibly bad. Like, I could literally feel my heart beating, it felt like out of my chest almost. And especially when I'd have a panic attack, or, you know, just elevated heart rate. And when you have an elevated heart rate, your body is kind of almost in fight or flight mode. And for me, that was all the time, and it was exhausting, so tiring, okay? Just so tiring. And I just feel like I was constantly running from something, even though I wasn't in any danger, and I wasn't even when I wasn't doing any physical exercise, I could literally be sitting in bed and I'd have my heart rate as if I was sprinting from some kind of predator animal or something. And it just stressed me out so much, because I was just like, why is my body reacting like this? That's anxiety. All right, number 2, kind of related to the first one actually, is lack of sleep. Now, my anxiety stopped me sleeping properly for years, and I remember the first night I was on my medication, I slept like a baby. Now, I still sometimes have poor nights of sleep due to anxiety, where I'm sort of just lying awake and your brain is like, hey, remember that time that this thing happened? Or, you know, what if it's mostly what if. It's mostly what if your house burnt down? Or what if, I don't know, there's a plane falls out of the sky and crashes on your neighborhood? Or, you know, what if the next bowl of soup you eat accidentally has poison in it? And I'd be like, why is my brain doing this? None of those things are going to happen. None of those things are likely to happen. And I'm just getting stressed out for no reason. But it was working. And I was just so mad, because I was like, I can't sleep because now I'm thinking about what if my house burnt down. Okay, so lack of sleep can be a really big symptom of anxiety, and that can be due to the mental symptoms like I just described, or the physical symptoms like your elevated heart rate, your body's in fight or flight, and it's oh, we can't go to sleep, there's some danger. There's literally no danger. You are lying in bed. So yeah, lack of sleep. Okay, and that kind of leads into you being tired as well, which is also a symptom of depression, but I talked about that in my other video. Again, if you're interested, go check that out. All right, symptom number 3. I did 4, I'm sorry, 3. Worrying that people dislike me. Okay, so I'm a massive people pleaser, and less so than I used to be. If you could only have seen how bad I used to be. Seriously, it was crazy. Anyway, I am much better now through therapy, but I do still worry that people dislike me, and I tend to overthink my social interactions. So if I have a social interaction and, you know, one of my friends was kind of in a bad mood or something, and probably it had nothing to do with me, I'll be like, oh, maybe I upset them. No, in reality, they just you know, they just heard that something's gone wrong at their house, they need to fix their water tap, and it's just been bugging them all day. But they didn't tell me about that, because why would they? And so I just assume, oh no, I've upset them. But in reality, it actually has nothing to do with me. So I kind of overthink my social interactions, and I always assume the worst about myself in relation to other people. So worrying that people dislike me is a huge one, and it gives me a lot of social anxiety actually. I can talk about social anxiety in another video if you guys are interested. I'll probably do that one. But yeah, worrying that people dislike me is a huge one. All right, number 4, for real this time. Fear of doing something wrong by accident. This is kind of related to number 3, but also in practical situations, right? So if I'm doing a practical task, and say the one that I had to do recently is I had to attach the little frames to my bike for bike lights. I had to get out like the screwdriver and like sort of put it together. And I was thinking as I was attaching this, what if the screwdriver like slips and like hits me in my hand, then I'll have to go to hospital. And I was like, why would I think that? Like, I'm being very careful, I'm going very slowly, and again, nothing bad happened. But fear of doing something wrong by accident, even if it's like in a practical scenario or in a sort of like emotional scenario, like worrying that people dislike you or you've done something wrong socially, that is a big symptom of anxiety, and one that affects me a lot. Even when I'm in therapy or medication, I also kind of a perfectionist, and I really want to get things right, and I want to get things right first time, and this kind of goes throughout all areas of my life, really. So fear of doing something wrong by accident, I just hate messing up, and my anxiety doesn't help that. Okay, and symptom number 5, people pleasing and overcompensating. So I've talked a little bit about people pleasing before, but yeah, like I say, it used to be a lot worse, but I do still try and get people to like me as much as possible. So whether that be through like not really saying what I want to do, or just trying to like mold myself and my interests to fit the interests of the person I'm talking to, or all sorts of other ways. And I'm trying to get better about that, because I should also have a personality. But yeah, my people pleasing is strong and difficult to get rid of. Overcompensating is another huge one, okay? So like I'll be super extra with my friends, and I will try and, another way that I try and overcompensate is I will be very sort of hard on myself in terms of productivity. Like I will have a goal and then I'll be like, right, for the actual goal, I'm gonna double that goal. And I sometimes, this is a very good way to get stuff done, I admit, but it can burn you out. So like approach with caution, especially if you are someone who's prone to anxiety and prone to self-esteem issues like I am. So yeah, people pleasing and overcompensating, I guess that's kind of 2 symptoms in one, but I think they're both part of that like anxious striving for recognition and reassurance that is often a hallmark of anxiety. So like in all my other mental health videos, I just wanted to make this video to kind of like normalize the discussion around anxiety and the discussion around mental health, because even though I feel like we've made a lot of progress as a society in the last decade or so in talking about these things, there is still a lot of stigma around it, and people don't necessarily always talk about when they have anxiety, and they don't necessarily always talk about the hidden costs, the hidden burdens of it. So I just wanted to kind of like normalize that, and just, if you have anxiety, if you have these symptoms, or even if you don't have any of these symptoms and you have other symptoms, okay, you're not alone. And honestly, I really feel for you, because I know what it's like. And also, you can have a really good life and have anxiety. Like, I genuinely have a really good life, and I enjoy my life, and I have really good days, and days where I am actually genuinely very happy. And the number of days that is true for is actually increasing, so that's great. Yeah, so that's 5 ways my anxiety affects me every day. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to do that, give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram. I will see you guys in the next video. All right, bye.